Hello students. So today we are here to discuss about the positive real functions and the properties of positive real function. So before we start, let's read what is the significance of positive real function, why we need to find out whether the given function is a positive real or not. So you should just remember one thing, that whenever you will be given a numerical based on your network synthesis, either you will be given the admittance or the impedance function to synthesize a given circuit using your passive components. So whether it is your impedance function or your admittance function that we collectively called as immitance function, it should only be realized physically if it comes out to be a positive real function. If it does not come out to be a positive real function, then we cannot synthesize the given circuit. So every immitance function should be checked for positive realness before synthesizing. So basically, when we come on to your properties of positive real function, that how you are going to clarify or you are going to see that the given function is positive real or not, the very first thing is we have to look at the admittance function or the impedance function and check for all the necessary condition by inspection. So let's go on to what are the properties that we can just look at and then tell that the given function is positive real or not. So whenever you are given with any function, like zs will be given with, so zs will be given in the form of numerator and denominator. So the very first thing that you should all do is remove all the common factors from the numerator and the denominator. This is the most important point that you should take care of before starting with this. I am going to take a numerical based on this also. And then we come on to the inspection method for the necessary condition. So the main thing that you should all remember is that the numerator and the denominator should differ at the most by the degree 1. Lowest degree denominator as well as the higher degree denominator. That is the highest power of s and the lowest power of s should differ at the most by 1. The next is all the coefficients of the polynomial must be real and positive. No coefficient should be negative, like we discussed in the Hurwitz polynomial. The imaginary x's, poles and zeros should be simple in nature. What do we mean by simple? In actual, sometimes what happens that we get multiple poles on origin or on your any other point. So if there is more than one pole or zero on your imaginary axis, then we say that multiple poles are there, and that should not be the case. They should be simple, only one pole or zero at a place. Then is the same point that we discussed in our Hurwitz polynomial properties, that there should be no term missing in numerator as well as the denominator unless all even or odd are missing. All the poles and zeros must be located in the left half of S plane. So if this is my S plane, this I'm going to put in my next lecture also. Otherwise, you can just see the lecture on zeros and poles. From there, you will understand that why do we always go for your left hand side of the S plane. So the main difference is that we always take that the real part should be negative, so that it lies in your left hand of S plane, so that the system is positive. If by chance your some pole lie on the imaginary axis, we call it a marginally stable system. And for that, we have to check the residues. Minded, if the roots that you have calculated are in the form of sigma plus j omega, then you need not calculate your this point. But if there is only the roots are in terms of only imaginary, like j omega roots are coming, only then you have to calculate your this thing. You have to find the residues. So what do you mean by residues? Basically, when you do the partial fractions, you calculate using a upon something plus b upon something. So the values a and b are called the residues. Now we come on to your next set of properties that you need to calculate. These were only by inspection. You will look for all these properties that I just discussed, and then you are going to say that it can be a positive real. But you have to find out, you have to do some numerical part to know that exactly it is positive real or not. So the test for necessary and sufficient condition, the very first thing that is there is whether numerator and denominator are Hurwitz or not. They should separately be Hurwitz. So what you are going to do is, for the numerator, you are going to separate it in even and odd, and then you need to take the CFE. If all the quotients come out to be positive, then you will say that numerator is a Hurwitz polynomial. The same thing you are going to do with your denominator. You have to go for your CFE. So whenever the numerical of 5 marks comes for your positive real function, the very first thing you should do is take the CFE of numerator and denominator. Okay, so the second part that you must remember is, if the roots come out on imaginary axis, then you need to calculate the residues. We will be summarizing all these points in the later stage. So the second point is of your residues. You have to calculate the residues, and if they are real and positive, then it is a positive real function. But you only need to calculate J only when the poles are on imaginary axis. No need for if the poles are coming on the left hand side. Okay, so the last point is, real part of fj omega should be greater than equal to 0 for all omega. So how we are going to find out the real part of fj omega? We all know that we always divide the polynomial into even and odd polynomials. So here we are taking m1 as the even polynomial and n1 as the odd polynomial of the numerator, while same we are going for the denominator. So after that we are multiplying by its negative with in numerator and denominator. We are going to rationalize it, and then we are going to separate out the terms. Now you just see that if there is some even power of s and it is multiplied by the even power of s, then the result will always be even. You can take any example for this. Similarly, if you are going to multiply a odd function with a odd function, again you are going to get a even function. So now if you all remember that my m1 and m2 both are even, so if m1 and m2 are multiplied, I am going to get a even function only. Now if my m1 is multiplied with n1, again I am going to get a even function. You can see from your these examples that I have just written here. So that means now I have to check out that what will be my even part and what will be my odd part. So now the third thing that you should see is that if a even function is multiplied with an odd function, only then the result is a odd function. You can see here that s cube is coming out to be odd. So what we are going to do is, when we have multiplied here, we know that m1 m2 will be even, n1 n2 will be even, while m2 n1 and m1 n1 are going to be odd. So we are going to separate it. This thing will come out to be even, while this will come out to be the odd function. Why we are doing this? Basically, you all know that we have to replace s with j omega. So you all know that if I am going to square j, then the answer is -1. But if I have got j cube, then the result will be minus j. So wherever there is an odd function, that is going to generate a imaginary part, while wherever there is an even function, that is going to generate a real part. So our main aim is to get the real part of fj omega. So to get that, that is why we have separated the real, even and the odd terms, because the even part is going to give me the real part of my fj omega. So after taking this, we have to only, because this is your square term, so this is positive and real. So now I have to only check my m1 m2 minus n1 n2 for my different values of omega for it to be real and positive. If it is greater than equal to 0, then we will say that it is positive real. So in the last, we are going to come on to summarizing the different properties that you need to calculate. So the very first is all those 8 properties that we did with inspection method. Then you all must see that if the poles and zeros of Fs are lying on the left half of S plane or on the imaginary axis, then it should be Hurwitz. So you have to take the CFV. The third point is, if the poles come on the imaginary, only on the imaginary axis, that means the real part is missing. Only then you need to calculate your this step. If you have got a quadratic polynomial, then the chances are there that you need not calculate it. You only need to calculate your this thing if the function is given in s square plus like 2 form, because from here you are going to get s square equals to -2 and s will be equal to under root of -2, that is going to give you plus minus under root 2j or 1.414j. So from there you come to know that there is a pole on the imaginary, and in such cases you need to calculate your residues, otherwise you have to skip this step. So the last one that we just discussed, that you need to calculate this for different values of omega. So let's go on to our numerical part. So now we come on to your numerical number 1. So by inspection method, first you need to see that there is no term of s that is missing in numerator and denominator, that is not there. The second thing is all the coefficients of your this s should all be real and positive, they are there. At the most the degree should differ by 1, so there is no difference in the degrees, so that is also good. So the next point that you need to calculate is your CFV of numerator as well as the denominator. So first let's calculate that whether my this numerator polynomial is Hurwitz or not. So for that I have written it separately here, and now I will be dividing it between my even terms, that is 5s square plus 3, and odd term, that is s cube plus 9s, and then I will be carrying out my CFV. So for that, the higher term will be taken inside and the smaller degree term is going to divide it. So let's divide it. And then if all the quotients are positive, then we will say that the given polynomial is a Hurwitz polynomial. So now you all know that the first step is division and the second step is inversion. So the one that was dividing it before is now going to get divided itself. So now the next one, I am going to multiply it with, 25 by 42. So now I have got my this single term here. So now to get more space, I have just reduced the magnification. So now 3 is going to divide 42 by 5s. So now I will be having my, because the highest power is 3, so this will be going to be my last term. That is a cross verification for you, that till how much you are going to go for the division. So you can check here that all the quotients are coming out to be positive. S by 5, 25 by 42 as, 42 by 15 as, they all are going to be positive. So that means the numerator is a Hurwitz polynomial. So now let's take the case of the denominator. So separating again the odd and the even parts, so we get s cube plus 7s and 4s square plus 9. So s cube plus 7s is going to get divided with 4s square plus 9. So now we have taken the CFV of the denominator and all the quotients have come out again to be positive. So we will say that both numerator as well as the denominator, they both are Hurwitz polynomial. So the next thing is, I told you that whenever the polynomial is quadratic or whatever, then there is no need to calculate the third step, and that is to calculate the residues. You need to only calculate the residues when you are given with the poles in the form of s square plus 2 or s square plus 1, something like that. So we are going to skip our residue step, and we are directly going to come on to your next property to be calculated, and that is m1 m2 minus n1 n2 should be greater than 0, because this is the real part of it. So we have already separated our, this becomes my m1, this becomes my m2, this becomes my n1, and this becomes my n2. So we have got the values of m1 and m2. So now I am just going to rub it here, and I'm and I'm going to put it in that equation. So let me write it again, and then I am going to carry out my next step. So now I have written all the even and odd terms here of the numerator and denominator, and named them as m1 m2 for the even ones of numerator and denominator respectively, and same for the odd terms of the numerator and denominator. Now we are going to put them in my this equation, and then we are going to calculate the value in terms of j omega. So you have to multiply your even terms, then you have to multiply your odd terms, you have to simplify the equation. So your this equation will come out to be in the fourth power or sixth power of s, and then you need to simplify it, and then you are going to replace your s with j omega. So after simplifying, you are going to get your this thing, and now I am going to put the value of replacing s with j omega. So when you are going to replace it, be very careful that you should not skip your any power of s while you are replacing it, and also take care of the negative and the positive signs, because only then you are going to know that you are going to get your value of that function greater than or equal to 0. So now after multiplying it, I have got my this thing, because you can just see here that when this is even, so it was going to give me a negative j, negative this -1, it is going to generate that, and then you are going to get your this term as positive. Same is happening here also. So after putting the various values of omega, you can just try to put various values of omega. Just put the value of omega as 0 here. So you are going to see this is going to be 0 0 0, and you are going to 27, that is greater than equal to 0. Similarly, then you are going to put the value of omega. All the values you are going to put of omega should be greater than equal to 0. So here you can see that with omega equals to 1 also, this is going to come out to be positive. And similarly, when you are going to put all the values of omega to be greater than 0, you are going to find that this function is going to provide us with the values greater than equal to 0. So that means this is a positive real function. So now let's go on to our next numerical. So now we come on to your question number 2. And by looking at it, you will just say that, ma'am, this is not positive real function. But what I told you when we calculated, when we saw the discuss the properties of positive real, was the very first thing is eliminate any common factors. So the very first thing that you all should know is eliminate any common factor. And if you just check out that this s cube minus 1, so you must write the formula for a cube minus b cube, and that is going to give you the formula as a minus b whole cube plus 3ab a minus b. So now I am going to take my this a minus b outside, and that is going to give me the value a square plus ab plus b square. So now I have got a as s and b as 1. So replacing that here, I'm going to get the value s minus 1 into s square plus s plus 1. So from here you can see that the common factor can be s minus 1, because after taking out your this s minus 1 out, you are getting a positive polynomial. So you need not check this for anything, you only need to divide it. Kindly note that I am not talking about CFE, but I am talking about division. Like if I want to check that 14 can be divided on 2 or not, or so you have to just go for your this thing. So similarly you have to now go for your division, that your s minus 1 divides your 4s cube minus 3s square minus 1 or not. So the very first thing you are going to see is eliminate your this thing. So for that you are going to multiply it with 4s square. So that is going to give you the value here 4s cube minus 4s square. So negating it and positive this, so this is going to get cancelled out and you are going to get s square minus 1. So now you are going to multiply it with s and you are going to get s square minus s. So then negative this, positive this is going to cancel out. So you are going to get s minus 1 and the last term is plus 1. So you are going to get here s minus 1. So that means you have got the factor of your this polynomial as, you can write it as s minus 1 multiplied by 4s square plus s plus 1. So that means in both the factors, of numerator and denominator, your this s minus 1 is coming out to be positive, and you need to eliminate that before coming on to any conclusion that whether the given function is a this positive real or not. So the very next thing that you need to do is you need to take the CFE of numerator and denominator separately. So after eliminating, the final FS that you have got from your this numerical is s square plus s plus 1 divided by 4s square plus s plus 1. So by inspection, you can see that both are, all the coefficients are real and positive, all the powers are there. So now you need to check separately that whether your this, so s square plus 1 is the even polynomial and s is the odd one. Similarly, so here just mention m1 and n1. So in the next one, you have got your 4s square plus 1 as your m2 and s as your n1. So let's, sorry, n2. And so let's take the CFE of your these terms. So s square plus 1 divided by s is going to give you, the very first thing will be cancelled out 1, and then you are going to invert. So you are going to get all positive quotient. So that means numerator is a Hurwitz polynomial. So now we come on to the denominator. Whether it is Hurwitz or not, again dividing it by s is going to give me first positive quotient, and then I am again going to go for your this step, and again you are going to get your denominator also as the Hurwitz polynomial. So the first step is cleared, so it can be a positive real. Again, you just see here that these are the quadratic polynomials. So that means you need not calculate your second point of residues here. No need to calculate it, because the poles, whatever you are going to get here, will be in terms of real plus imaginary. When you are getting your real plus imaginary, that means your imaginary poles will come something here. You only need to calculate, I am repeating again and again, when you have got your imaginary poles on the imaginary axis, that we are going to discuss in the next numerical. So this completes your this thing, and now we are going to come on to your last condition, and that is your m1 m2 minus n1 n2 needs to be positive. So let's put the values of m1 m2 minus n1 n2 here. So I'm just rubbing it, and then I need to write down my that equation. Okay, so now we have got your m1 m1 m2 minus n1 n2 should be greater than equal to 0. So here m1 value is s square plus 1, m2 is 4s square plus 1, n1 is s as well as n2 is also s. So now we need to calculate its value. That comes out to be 4s4 plus 4s square plus 1. So now I need to replace my s with j omega. That is going to give me my this even power, then again my even power, and then 1. So here I am going to get my 4 omega 4 minus 4 omega square plus 1, and this I can just write it as this thing. So whenever there is a square term, you all know that all the values that are going to come are going to be positive. So that means my this function is going to produce all the values that will be greater than equal to 0. So hence my this function is a positive real function. So just see that by looking at it, you could have just said that yes, this is not a positive real function. But the very first thing is you need to eliminate any common factor that is present there and then carry out your conclusions. So now let's come on to the last numerical. So now we come on to your third numerical, and here you can just see that all coefficients are real and positive. There is no term missing here, and in the denominator one, this is completely a even polynomial. So again, all the conditions are satisfied. So the next one, we are going to go for your CFE, and you only need to calculate the CFE of your this numerator. You can calculate that for the denominator as well if you want. Again, it is going to come out to be Hurwitz. So separating your even and odd terms here and just starting with the CFE, you are going to get 2s cube plus 3s getting divided by 2s square plus 2. So the very first term you are going to get is s. So that is going to generate 2s cube plus 2s. That is going to give you s as the remainder, and then the inversion will come here. So now you need to multiply it with 2s to get your this first term eliminated. So now you are left with 2, and now it is going to divide your s. So that is going to give you s by 2 here. So here you are going to get s, and here you finish your CFE. All the quotients are coming out to be positive. So that means that is a Hurwitz polynomial. So now we need to check out the pole, right? Just see here that s square plus 1 equals to 0 is going to give you -1 here, and s is going to be under root of -1, and you all know the value of under root -1, and that is equal to plus minus j. So as soon as you know that your value is coming out to be on the imaginary axis, you need to calculate the residues. So let's go on to the partial fractions and find out the values of a and b. So now I have written it in my partial fractions form. So you need to write it as s plus j into s minus j only. As I just discussed that how your this plus minus j has come. So because that was coming out to be plus minus j, so that means s plus j and s minus j are the two factors of your s square plus 1. So now I need to calculate the values of a and b. So multiplying your s plus j towards that side. So that is going to give you the equation 2s cube plus 2s square plus 3s plus 2 equals to a multiplied by s minus j plus b multiplied by s plus j. So now putting the value of s as j and s as minus j, you are going to get the value of a as 1 by 2 as well as b as 1 by 2. You all need to do this, and you all need to check your this value. So now you are going to know that as these both residues are coming out to be real as well as positive. So that means your this function can be a positive real. So now we come on to our third part, that is to calculate our m1 m2 minus n1 n2 to be greater than equal to 0. So for that we have already separated our even and the odd part, so that comes out to be 2s square plus 2 into s square plus 1, and here we have got our odd part as 2s cube plus 3s, but the odd part of the denominator is 0. So that makes my this term to be equal to 0. So only we need to multiply over this term. So that is going to give me 2 omega. I should just multiply that first. So now that is going to give me 2s4 plus 2s square plus 2s square plus 2. So then you have got, by simplifying it, you have got your this value, and now you are going to replace s with j omega. So here, after replacing your s with j omega, here also even term and here also even term. So now you are going to get the value as this, and now you are going to write it also as taking 2 common from here. You are going to get omega square square minus 2 omega square plus 1, and now you can write it in its square form. That comes out to be omega square minus 1 whole square. So now again, because this is a square term, then all the values that you are going to get are going to be more than equal to 0, because you all know that if we are going to square a negative term, you are always going to get a positive term. So that means your this function is going to provide you with real and positive values. So that means this is a positive real function. So now let's summarize your different important aspects that we have just discussed. So the very first thing is you all need to inspect the polynomial function that you are given in terms of your numerator and denominator. All the coefficients should be positive and real. All the values that you are going to get of your degrees of coefficients of s should not be missing. Highest degree and the lowest degree should always be separated by, there should be a difference of 1 only at the most. So it can be equal also, as we just discussed some problems. The next step is you need to take the CFE separately of the numerator as well as the denominator. You have to separate in even and odd, and then you need to take the CFE. If that is giving you the positive quotients, then it can be a positive real. Third, you need to check the poles. If the poles are the roots of a quadratic function, you need not calculate your residues. But if the poles are in the form of your even function, s square plus a form, if the function is even, only then you need to calculate your residues. If the residues like a and b we calculated are coming out to be real and positive, then we will say that it is a positive real. And the fourth condition that you need to check is m1 m2, that is the multiplication of the even terms of numerator and denominator, and n1 n2, they are going to come greater than equal to 0 for different values of omega, when you are going to replace your s with j omega in your this function. So I hope that all the things are clear to you. So in our this lecture, we have learned the significance of the positive real function, that if a function is positive real, only then it can be realized, it can be synthesized. Then we have learned the properties of our positive real function by inspection method, as well as the numerical part that need to be calculated before telling that whether a given function is positive real or not. Then there were the important concepts that I just told you, that where you have to calculate the residues, where you have to, how you have to go for your CFE, and how you have to go for your M1, M2 minus N1, N2 condition. Then we did three numericals based on the positive real function that must have cleared your mind, because first example, we have taken off a simple polynomial function. In the second one, there was a common factor and you could have mistaken it as not being a positive real, but that came out to be a positive real function. And in the third one, we have taken the imaginary poles, and from there we have calculated the condition of our residues. So that's all for now. So in the next lecture, we are going to discuss very important concepts that relates to our network synthesis. And from there, we are going to learn that why we always go for our impedance as well as the admittance function only. How a circuit can be only drawn, only synthesized using ZS and YS. So that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching.